Swastiastu. Hello everyone, good evening. So, today I am Novita. I will continue the reading novel. The title is The Beast by Shallcross Part 14. Okay, let's go. Chapter 6. I spent another sleepless night after our first meeting. Even so, the knowledge of her presence as I watched the first rays of sunlight streaking through my bedroom window was one of the most intoxicating sensations I had ever felt. I spent a strangely conflicted morning. My guiles over the trickery I had researched to in order to bring her here next at me, and I was terrified of comforting her unhappiness again. Yet I felt such a sense of anticipation over meeting her once more. I barely touched my morning meal. I fretted over my clothes. The garments laid our out for me that morning were of a strange, unfamiliar cut. The cuts and pantaloons were longer and looser than I was used to wearing, and my shirts had spawned a layered collar. Ornaments with lace. I grows in disapproval and stalls over to one of the cats where my clothes was kept. But when I threw open the light to get the clothes I went, all the elegant double in my tropes had disappeared. I turned around to stare at the empty rooms in anger. What was going on? With a subdued shudder, I snatched up the shirts with the preposterous collar and was about to tear it apart when I remembered the familiar styles of the dress the girl had worn last night. How long had I been here? Suppose the clothes I had been wearing were ensigns, ridiculous I thought this a tear look. Did I risk looking almost ridiculous if I insisted on wearing the clothes I was used to? I dropped the skirts quietly and flexed the tensions from my clothes. I had trusted the magic knew better than I this morning. I let myself be dressed with bad grains, irritated at the way the lace showed on my talons. Once finished, I left the house to wander my gardens. She had not left her rooms, and I thought perhaps it would be best if allow her to seek me out in her own time. Moment after, I decided upon this course of actions. I had a sudden panic fantasy that she would never be able to bear to look upon me again, and I would have to hide myself away from her until she left. This had such a powerful effect upon me. I had to pause on the thresholds of the great staircase in the entry halls and straining myself against the banister. With the weight of this new fear, no family settled over my shoulders. I stepped outside. I knew when she entered my gardens, and while I couldn't help but know where she was, I stayed away from her. Following her, perhaps, but at so great a distance she couldn't have a sign of me. She walked slowly and vacillated between hoping it was because she took joy from my beautiful grounds and desiring that her pace reflects a sense of apprehension in being in presence here. Eventually, of course, she came upon up on the Waltz Rose Garden. She stops for a few moments, then turns and walks inside. I find a bench in a nearby strawberry and set myself down to wait in anxiety of apprehension. I resolved I would meet her. When she left the garden, even, even if only to bid her good morning and leave again. Perhaps she would even allow me to waltz with her a while. She spent some time in the garden, and I was dreaming almost happily when I was surprised by the sounds of her voice calling me. Again, my hearing her must have been the result of some magic echo, as her voice was barely above a speaking stone. This time, however, she sounded as though she expected to be here. I rose and went to the arched doorway leading into the rose garden. I stood looking within for a moment before I entered. My heart was pounding and my mouth suddenly dry, but but rose garden before me remains tranquil as ever. The mossy paths were dappled with fallen petals, yet not a once was bruised or brown. The way before me was lined with roses that straggled over my hands in a cold green tunnel. I walked slowly down the covered avenue towards the heart of the garden. At the center of the rose gardens was a small pavilion. We came up it at about the same time, she from a different path. I was a little closer and saw her before she saw me. I stopped, my breath caught in my throat. She walked with her head bowed and her glow like honey in the morning sun. The clothes she wore today were far simpler than those she had worn the night before. The soft tones of the plain clothes echoing the roses surrounding her. She looks as though she had been blown out of the garden that very moment. As she came towards me, a mulberry pretends petals from the earthing scans of a wild rose. They flew up into the air and caught the sunlight from an assistance, glowing and pink and gold. It was then she looked up and saw me. She too stopped, but if you caught her breath, it was because I had a vastly different effect on her than she had on me. Still, she came towards me again with a resolute air, and I am certain she was by far the more confused of the two of us. "Good morning," she said politely in the manner of the determined to be pleasant. "Good morning," I replied, cheerful with relief at the change from the previous night. "I trust you sleep well," I asked, and then, with Hayden, how could she have? "Terribly," she answered with a tight smile. I looked at her and saw her eyes were red, and redly shadow underneath. I turned away. "I'm sorry," I started to say, but she interrupted me. "No, please." She put out a head as close to detain me, but then drew back into a start. Embarrassed, she made a first, and he hid her hand in her skirt. "It is who must apologize for my behavior last night. I was rude and ungrateful. I'm sorry." I turned back to stare at her in astonishment. Please, don't think of it. I grew embarrassed at her belief that she had anything to apologize to me for. You were distraught in it is nothing. You have been nothing but hospitable, she replied, addressing the list on my calendar, as though she had been rehearsing this speech all night. And I thank you for the hospitality. There was a moment's silence. Ah, I am afraid I don't know your name. I said I wondered whether I could introduce her to look at me again, but an overwhelming consciousness of my hideous face cursed the impulse to try. Isabel Delano, sir, she said and dropped a brief curtsy. Her next question showed me unprepared. Okay guys, that's all my reading novel today, and I will continue next video. Bye bye.